I don't think you can separate necessarily and say like it's just because of the drug use. No, there's so many other things going on here.
Agreed.
Like we've talked about, separating the drugs from the person, or separating the alcohol from the person, is about 5% of the issues for why, like, I know for me, like why I did what I did. There's so much stuff going on beneath the surface. The symptom to the outward world was drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
So a lot of times spouses will say, if we can just get them sober, everything's good. And I can forget about the infidelity. I'm not saying don't rebuild your relationship, but I am saying you can't just blame it all on the drugs and alcohol. Welcome back to another episode of Till the Wheels Fall Off. I'm Matt.
I'm Paige.
Back from LA this week.
Yes.
It's been nice. That was a crazy experience. Crazy experience. It's what you think it would be.
Yeah.
With this gigantic set and all these lights, and they had a camera on like train tracks and other cameras.
You thought that was the coolest thing.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Watching, I think they're called the grip crew. Learned some new terms.
New
grip.
terms.
Yep.
Interesting.
Grip. They had crazy lighting. It was nuts. I had a hair and makeup artist and a wardrobe person.
You called me when you were done at the end of the day and you had makeup on, and it was like, it's like all...
It's all uniform.
Yes. There was no discoloration or anything, which you're beautiful anyway, but I just thought it was crazy.
It was nuts. It was a crazy experience. Like one of those deals where you're talking on camera and then someone comes in real quick and like hits you with the brush and dabs makeup and stuff like that. It was insane. I'm really looking
real
forward.
Deal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this thing coming out. I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I saw a couple of the shots on playback, but other than that, I have no idea what they're going to do with it as far as editing and whatnot goes.
Yeah.
But it's related to what we discuss here.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be relevant for people.
Right. We can't give out too much information until it comes out.
I'm looking forward to sharing it out, though. Look for this around mid-March, I think.
Right.
Really, really crazy, cool experience.
Yay! It was a crazy week, and I'm glad you're back.
Me too. It was good to be home.
Yeah, you had to stay longer than expected.
Yeah, I was asked to stay out there an extra day, and that was, honestly, it was the most fun I've ever had, like working.
I know.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. And I wasn't acting per se. Wasn't acting. I was playing myself. So that's easy for me.
Yeah.
I only had to memorize a few lines.
Yeah.
And I did those the night before, and I actually nailed it first take.
Dang. I'm proud of you. I think it's exciting for you.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yep.
It'll be cool for us. I mean, we did it partly for the exposure that it would give the podcast and everything we're doing and our message to get out there to a bigger audience. So
right.
Hopefully we get there.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a really awesome episode today. We left off last time talking about intimacy and all things intimacy.
Right.
With the exception of infidelity.
Right.
We did have some questions on infidelity that we felt it deserves some more time, and it couldn't fit into that episode.
Right.
So we're going to talk about that today. Before we do, we've still got sweatshirts available. We've got tons of stickers, like you can see on Paige's water bottle over there. More than you can shake a stick at. We've got our logo, like the one you see on our profile pictures. We've got a bunch of other designs we made. What are you clicking buttons over here?
Oh, no, that scared me. Okay, sorry.
All kinds of stickers up there. We've also got sweatshirts that are still available.
Yeah.
We've got the courses. The courses are still out there.
Yes.
And
the mini course is going to be...
Next week, we're taking it down.
Yep.
Next week.
So you only have a couple of days to get that one.
Yeah, the self-care mini course.
Right.
Available for $50 at independentlystrong.com. In addition, our mega course is out there. And we've just enabled this really cool function within the community that the course sits in. It's through Teachable.
Yes.
And Teachable has a community function where we will be present, answering questions, like specific questions like, hey, this is going on in my life. What should I do? How do I take this, what I've just learned in the course, and how would you apply this? Yeah. We're going to be answering questions in there. We try to get to people's questions and whatnot in the community, but the bigger it gets, the harder it is.
In our Facebook community.
Right.
Yeah. This one's different. This is if you're in the course.
Yeah.
Because you're also going to be with the people who are doing the course as well.
Yep.
So you can all, talk with each other and
it's really cool.
us.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's a new feature there. We've just enabled it and it's up and running now.
Yep.
So it's awesome. And you can get the course still 75% off using the code Wheelies75. That's Wheelies with an S, 75.
Yep.
It covers it, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, let's get into this.
Let's get into the topic of infidelity.
Okay, so we haven't discussed this.
Never.
Because it wasn't part of our journey. So this episode, we're going to answer the questions at the best of our ability, but we just want to start it off by saying a lot of this is going to be our opinions.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily research backed, basically. Is that the term that I'm looking for?
It is.
This is going to be basically how we feel about the topic. So just take with it what you want and go with that.
Yeah. And hopefully if you're listening, you know that we're not licensed therapists. We're not medical professionals. This isn't a substitute for therapy. We've got two people that have worked through something. This is our lived experience in life, giving our opinions on just about everything.
Yeah.
Same as if you were ever set up a session and go through like mentorship or coaching.
Yeah.
We make that clear. Like we're not licensed professionals, but we do have experience. We've been there, done that. So when it comes to this topic, this is very much coming from this is my perspective. This is what I know. The course is research backed. The course does have a licensed professional's perspective and put that together. And we did have a call with a therapist about this topic.
Right.
Because we wanted to provide some insight, but all it really did was just validate that we were on the right track.
Yes.
Because we always talk about episodes and we go through them, just me and you, and then we'll run, especially for stuff that, hey, we were sort of outside of our, what we're comfortable with.
Right.
We always run this by somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Came back positive.
Right.
So, okay. Yeah. Let's just get into the questions and then we'll let it flow from there.
Okay. You want me to say the question?
Yeah, read them, please.
All right. So the first one is my AB, which is typically alcoholic boyfriend, I believe.
Yeah, AB. AH is alcoholic husband.
Frequently cheats or carries on in sexting conversations with whoever will do it with him, but continues to talk when sober. Is the boundary to be very clear of if you continue, I will no longer continue in this relationship. I find I make excuses because of his addiction.
There's more there.
You want me to? I was just going to stop right there.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to digest there. Is the boundary very clear? If you continue in this, if you continue doing this, I will no longer continue in this relationship. And maybe I should have prefaced it by saying that this comes up a lot, the infidelity in addicted relationships.
Yeah.
But not all people who are addicted to substances do this.
Right.
There aren't really clear statistics on like how many people are unfaithful in addicted relationships. But just an internet search earlier said that between 20 and 25% of men self-identified as having been unfaithful in their marriage at some point.
Okay.
So we're talking about, what's that, 1 in 5, 20%? About 1 in 5.
Okay.
This is just me saying, I feel like the instances are higher when it comes to addicted relationships though.
Okay.
And we'll get into some of the reasons we think that could be.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this person carrying on sexting conversations with whoever will do it with him, and you've got this boundary that you're basically saying, like, I will no longer continue this relationship.
I think that's a solid boundary.
I think that's a great boundary.
Right. Because we're going to say up front that infidelity was a non-negotiable in our relationship.
Always has been.
And if one of us did any of that, it would not continue, addict or not. It was the behavior. It was disrespectful. And I wouldn't have allowed my relationship with you to go on any further had that happen, because it was just something that I've always had a firm boundary and belief on with infidelity.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion, that your boundary is completely solid here.
I've got the same feeling about infidelity. It's just something that's just a no. That's just a hard no for me.
Right. And I have been very open with all of our episodes about how I focus on behaviors and not the substance or addiction. If somebody is doing something, addiction or not, it's still not appropriate behavior. And boundaries do need to be put in place.
Yeah, with these questions, and then also like our TikTok DMs fill up with these types of questions as well. And the question is often something like this. Like this person has even admitted, she's saying, I find that I make excuses because of the addiction. And that is very common.
Yes, it is.
Because you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, if they're addicted, I know that means like their brain's not operating as it should. It's a disease. So when it comes to this cheating, does that fall into that same bucket? My perspective on this is absolutely not.
Right.
It does not. I know a lot of addicted people that have never cheated.
Yeah.
This is a separate issue.
Yeah.
Now, we'll speak out of both sides of my mouth. Sex addiction, things like that, very much hit on the same parts of the brain.
Yeah, any type of addiction, it does the same part of the brain.
Once you're addicted to something, there are co-occurring addictions that take place, and the propensity for those to occur is higher.
Yeah.
So someone that's already addicted to a drug, the likelihood that they'll go do something else addicting is higher.
Okay.
So when it comes to like this, but this is like sexting conversations. Like to me, this is just betrayal.
Yes, it is.
This is just betrayal, especially like in the emotional affairs, like that one. Oh man.
Yeah. So let's discuss that. Like the human connections that we all have. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Like naturally over your course of your life, you're going to have connections with people. You're going to connect with people that aren't going to be your partner or your spouse. And you're going to think, you know what, maybe at some point in time, we would have had a relationship, you know, or you might fantasize about this person or something like that. But do you act on it?
No.
Why do you not act on it?
My priorities are in line.
Yeah. And
I can control the impulses.
It's the impulse. You're able to manage the impulses. It's no different than overeating. It's no different than you managing your sobriety.
Yeah.
Like you'll have cravings sometimes, but what do? You don't give in to the impulse.
Right.
There's a choice there.
Yeah.
To say there's no choice, that's just, I have issues with that.
Yeah. And what you just said there is like, I think it would maybe shock people to hear that coming out of like your mouth or my mouth, but like we're humans. Like you come across people throughout the course of your life and you will find someone that you connect with, and you're right. You have that thought, like maybe at a different place, a different time, had I never met the person I'm in love with and I've committed my life with.
Yeah.
That probably would have worked.
Right.
And you might even find yourself like daydreaming about it from time to time. Like you can have like a quote unquote crush.
Right.
But does it go any further than that?
No.
Never.
No.
And I know that you've had these relationships. You know that I've come across people too.
Right.
And we've even talked about this to some degree.
Absolutely.
Like open about it.
Yeah.
But it's not threatening because I think we're very secure with each other.
Exactly.
And where we're at.
Exactly.
But you're right. I think that even listeners that are hearing this can think about someone in their life. They've come across maybe someone they worked with or someone they come across at, parties every so often, whatever.
Right. And you have like matching energy, as people say, or you just have these connections. That's just normal.
Do you
That's
take it a step further though?
But you don't take it a step further. You're able to manage that because you do have something good. You made a commitment with somebody.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I think that answers it. I think that the boundary that you don't want to continue in this is wonderful. I mean, if this is where you're at, where this is a non-negotiable for me, I will not have someone in my life treating me this way, doing this to me, harming me in this way. I got to get out of here. Yeah. That's a boundary protecting you. That's a fair boundary. Yeah. It's protecting your peace, your values, your beliefs. That's solid.
It's totally solid.
That's solid. It's very solid. Okay. What's next?
Ways of rebuilding trust and intimacy when there's been cheating due to the drug use.
Okay.
I don't have experience here.
You don't have personal experience.
I don't.
Right. Nor do I. We haven't had to rebuild trust or intimacy after cheating due to drug use. Now, but we did have a conversation today with someone that has worked couples through this before. And an unpopular opinion is how he prefaced all of this. In his experience, when there's been an affair, now this is outside of addiction.
Yeah, this is just
He couldn't speak to, I've worked on many instances where there's addiction present, but he could speak to relationships where there'd been infidelity and how do you rebuild that? He said that the hardest part about it is, let's say it's a husband that's cheated and you've got this woman who's incredibly hurt, betrayed, and rightfully so. His feeling, and this is what he practices, is that we didn't get here because of just one person. Yeah. At some point in the relationship, something has changed. Something wasn't being communicated. And it's not 100% one person and 0% the other. That there's shared responsibility. And I want to fight back on that a bit because I feel, once again, like impulse control, like all these things. But okay, I've never been in a bad relationship. So I don't know what it feels like to be in a relationship where you're not compatible. You don't share values. You fight. There's nothing in common between either of you. You don't support each other. You don't validate each other. And what would it take to drive you to someone else, or to make the choice to go and cheat? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that would take, because I've never been there before. But he says that there's a shared responsibility there. Now, when it comes to addiction, I think that when you think of the addiction, it's a separate issue. Once again,
yes,
a separate issue. But
yes.
Addiction, cheating due to drug use. Mm-hmm. I got opinions about this.
Okay.
I do not buy for 1 second that you cheated just because you're on drugs.
Right.
I do not buy for 1 second you cheated just because you were on alcohol.
Right.
Whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've been high?
Yeah.
How many times I've been drunk in my life?
Right.
Like, enough for 10 people.
Right.
I still had agency. I still had the ability to know what was right and wrong at times. Now, mm-hmm. Are you thinking clearly all the time? No. Is your prefrontal cortex operating at 100% efficiency? Absolutely effing not.
Right.
Nowhere close. Mm-hmm. But we have choices that we make.
Yeah.
So to say that, and addicts love this, they'll say, well, I only cheated because of the cocaine. Mm. A lot of times amphetamine users do this.
Yeah.
Amphetamine is just, man, it's just this heightened state of just crazy amounts of dopamine.
But they chose to take the drug.
Right. So you chose to ingest the drug to begin with.
Yes.
And especially if you're someone who's done this before, you know where this leads. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. So in some ways, when you choose to pick up, you're also choosing that this is a possibility
that this is going to happen.
It's a higher likelihood that I'm going to cheat, do whatever else.
Right.
I don't think you can separate it necessarily and say like it's just because of the drug use. No, there's so many other things going on here.
Agreed.
Like we've talked about, separating the drugs from the person or separating the alcohol from the person is about 5% of the issues mm-hmm. for why, like, I know for me, like why I did what I did. There's mm-hmm. so much stuff going on beneath the surface. The symptom to the outward world was drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
So a lot of times spouses will say, if we can just get them sober, everything's good. And I can forget about the infidelity. I'm not saying don't rebuild your relationship, but I am saying you can't just blame it all on the drugs and alcohol. Right.
And it's going to be a long road. I do know that because taking away all the behaviors and the layers of processing and going through it, it takes a long time to rebuild that trust. And I can imagine if there is, infidelity involved there, it's going to take even longer because it's betrayal to, know. But a lot of people will say that addicts that are using, that's just like cheating on their partner because you do choose a drug over the partner. And I always felt that way too back in the day.
But not
the only difference is that there's not a connection with a human being, which does make a difference. That's going to be even more of a betrayal issue.
Yeah, like active addiction, I swear to you, it does not feel like a choice. Like whenever I've ingested something, it feels like no control over the next one I pick up. Like
I know, but you chose to pick up the first.
That's the thing is that we can always say, okay, but the first one's a choice.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But once I get that first one in me, it's like all bets are off.
Right.
But does that excuse my behaviors?
No.
No,
I don't think that it does at all. Any type of behavior.
No.
That's going to affect me. All of this is going to affect me.
No, let's say that you're driving drunk and you're mm-hmm. hauling ass through a school zone going 50 miles an hour in a 20.
Yeah.
And you get pulled over and you just tell the cop, it was just the alcohol.
It was just the alcohol. I just have a problem. You think that cop's just going to let you go?
No, they're going to arrest you for speeding.
There are consequences.
Then you're going to get a DUI.
There are consequences.
You can't be excused for your actions just because you were under the influence of something.
No, but a lot of people in these marriages, they do tolerate the behavior based on the alcoholism disease.
Yeah, and this is the most difficult thing that I've had to explain to people, like in DMs and emails and things like that, is I think spouses so badly want my response to be, yes, you can't blame them for that. You don't know what you're doing. It just mm-hmm. happens and you can't explain why. That's just not true.
Yeah.
I hate to be the guy that delivers that news, but that's not the way it works.
Right.
Unless you are blackout drunk. Mm-hmm. And if you're blackout drunk, okay, you still got yourself there. You're still responsible for what happens.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you're doing. It's like a time machine.
Yeah.
It's like you just wake up and like, what happened? Mm-hmm. That like Xanax will do that.
Yeah,
alcohol will do that.
Absolutely.
No clue what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Could you argue in that moment that like I didn't mean to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay.
But you did.
Right.
And you put yourself in that position.
Right.
So what's the difference?
And if it's a one-time thing that happened, I think it would be easier to rebuild trust if they had that happen.
Yes.
And then they owned it, took accountability and made changes and went to a program and went to therapy and did all of the things to try to rebuild the trust. I can see the trust being rebuilt again.
Yeah.
But if it is happening over and over again,
serial cheater.
Again, my 3 strikes you're out type thing, like how long are you going to keep this going? They're going to keep doing it until you say no more.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing, this is what I've been told from therapists about rebuilding a relationship after infidelity. You don't get back the same relationship.
No.
And they argue, why would you want to?
Oh, it's the same with if there's just addiction that's involved. You don't get back to the relationship from before.
No, it's a new relationship.
It's a new relationship. You're rebuilding from scratch.
You start over.
Yes.
Oftentimes the work that takes, people are not willing to do.
Right.
And I understand why.
Yeah, for sure.
I understand why.
It's a lot.
It's so much.
Yeah.
It's so freaking much to walk through that. Like a friend of ours has said that oftentimes couples don't show up to therapy until it's too late.
Yeah.
They usually show up. It's like showing up to the mechanic when your car's on fire saying like, I need to get my car fixed. Like this thing's done. This thing is totaled.
Yeah.
And there is such a thing as a relationship being totaled.
Right.
We talked about that, I think, last episode, where it can be beyond repair. And it's okay. I shouldn't say beyond repair, but beyond what you're willing to do to repair it.
Yeah.
That's very likely to be the case if it's gotten to this point where you've been cheated on X amount of times. How do you repair that? It could take decades. I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest if there is infidelity that's involved, then you go to couples counseling together.
See a professional
about that. And about rebuilding trust and how it would benefit you or what you've got to do for that. Because I don't know.
I think you can sort of walk through it in your mind. Like what would have to happen for me to trust this person wholly again? If I can't change the past, if I can't go back and change what they did, what would have to happen for me to get to that place where everything is okay again?
Yeah.
I don't think it's something you ever forget.
Yeah.
I think you could even find yourself years down the road after you are quote unquote recovered from it and still have moments where you remember it and it's still gonna hurt.
We still have things even from just addiction that I think about and I'm like, God, that hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's gonna take a long time to rebuild the trust 100%, if ever, because when trauma is involved, it takes a long time to actually unravel all that stuff.
Some of the ingredients that I know are necessary, it's going to take time.
Yeah,
that's one of them. It's going to take consistency in new behaviors and actions.
And accountability.
Right, accountability and validation for harm caused. So you have to do all those things, which are incredibly difficult to do. And then there's this time component, which is, it's kind of just whatever. It could be months, it could be years, it could be decades before you're at a point where you're like, okay, I feel safe here again. I'm good. But I would just want people to know, and like, you have permission to say that I won't tolerate this and it's okay to go.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's totaled.
Right.
Why not? Right.
Right.
Oh my goodness. We got crazy sounds in here.
It's the printer.
I thought that something was like breaking.
I thought something was on the roof, like an animal going down the walls. And I'm like, what in the world? And then I realized it's the printer.
Okay, what's next?
All right. So, I mean, the rest of the questions are pretty much the same. I just wanted to touch on the one where it says, is it really true if an addict says that was the alcohol substance, not me? If they cheat while under the influence, which is pretty much what you just...
That is not true. That's just not true.
Yeah. And I also want you to know it's not you either.
No.
Like, that's the thing too, is that I don't want the spouses who are dealing with this to think that there's something wrong with you, that they're doing this. No, there's something within them that they're having to really fix. They need to correct.
Yes.
You know, and you're going to have to heal from it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's not that you caused it to happen. They made those choices.
Yeah. I think that the part that the spouse plays here is the enabling of these behaviors.
Right. Which sounds terrible when you say it like that, but it's basically it's tolerating. Tolerance is condoning.
Yeah.
It is. If you're tolerating the behavior and you're accepting it just because, you know, it's addiction or whatnot, then you're condoning it and they're not going to change because they're like, okay, this is okay. This is okay because she's not doing anything to change it. So your part, that's really just your main part, is just tolerate. Like, what do you want to do for yourself? How are you going to put those boundaries up to protect yourself?
Yeah. A show that I love is The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite show of all time.
Yeah, we were Tony and Carmela one time for Halloween.
Yeah. We're nothing like either of them, but I just love the show.
No, but there's still some type of similarity.
In some way, we're like ride or die like that for each other, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I would totally...
There's a gray area there.
I would totally hide a gun for you if I had to.
I don't know if I would do that shit.
Come on, Carmela.
I'm not. You know me. I'm the rule follower.
She'd be like, he put
I don't
it right
tolerate
over there.
bullshit.
Arrest him. Arrest that man. Anyway, one of my favorite characters of all time is Carmela Soprano.
Yes,
so
love her.
For those of you that don't know, The Sopranos is a show about a family that's in the mafia.
Yeah.
The husband, Tony Soprano, is like he's a mafia boss, and his wife, Carmela, is a wife. She's a homemaker, lives a seemingly normal life of some kind. I mean, obviously there's some weird stuff that goes on when you're in the mafia.
Yeah.
Money and improper, there's theft, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Tony he's an asshole. Mm-hmm. He's a complete asshole to Carmela. And I always hated the way that he treated her. Mm-hmm. He would cheat on her like consistently. He always had a girlfriend or more than one girlfriend. Mm-hmm. He'd go to strip clubs. He slept with other women all the time. He would stay out till crazy hours. He was so mean to her. Mm-hmm. Like anytime she would ask him for like just basic human decency,
right,
or support of any kind, like the relationship was very transactional.
Yeah.
And I think of these relationships in some ways transactional. It's like, you can get away with that if I can get away with this. Mm-hmm. And that's how it became for them. And like my heart broke for Carmela, but at the same time, what was her role in her own suffering? Mm-hmm. She was responsible for a lot of it because she condoned it.
Right.
She was willing to sacrifice some parts of the relationship in order to get the others.
Yeah.
So in order to have the bright and shiny things, in order to have like the picture perfect family that you could put on social media and run out there as like, we're so great, she tolerated this abuse from this guy for so freaking long.
Right.
And so, yeah, you do play a part in some ways. Mm-hmm. But it's through what you tolerate, therefore condoning.
Yes.
And she condoned that behavior by not standing up and walking out and saying, I'm not doing this.
Right.
You will not treat me this way.
Right.
I didn't sign up for this.
Right. She didn't set her boundaries.
Right. And with an abusive person, someone mm-hmm. who will exploit you, they're just going to keep doing it. They're going to take that as an okay. She's fine with this. Mm-hmm. I'm totally cool with this.
Yes.
But it killed her. But she just didn't have the strength to walk out because the other stuff meant too much to her.
Yeah.
It's so rough, man.
It is.
So I think of like that kind of like that tragedy of that kind of person here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's rough.
Yep.
Okay. What's next?
That's it.
There is a question here that I wanted to sort of address. So what is the link between cheating and addiction, or is there one? Is it really true if an addict says that was the alcohol?
That's what I just said.
Is this the one you just read?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. But anyway, is there a link between cheating and addiction? Uh-huh. Not exactly.
Right.
Just not exactly.
Yeah.
I think that addicts would love you to believe that, and spouses would love to believe that.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
They would love like both sides, like, oh, let's just blame the addiction. We have no problem. And you're both kind of sitting there with this heavy feeling in the air, like, I get the feeling there's something else going on.
Yeah.
And you're right, there is.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So moving past infidelity is going to take professional help, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless you know someone who's been through this, who can walk you through it step by step. Mm-hmm. But I bet you their journey also involves some sort of professional help. Mm-hmm. You know, they got help from someone. But
right.
When it comes to addicts, why they cheat, these aren't scientific reasons, but these are some generalities, I should say. Like these are some things that you could, yeah, you could throw these things out there and say there's probably something to this. So impaired judgment is one. We mm-hmm. talked about that. There are parts of the brain that are not working at their best, right? Your cognitive function is impaired. Decision-making processes are not the best. We've all been drunk and done something stupid, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But did you cheat?
No.
There are big problems and there are small problems, mm-hmm. you know? Mm-hmm. Many of us have made the mistake of driving, and some people maybe even wrecked a car. For a lot of them, they do that once and that's that.
Yeah.
Right? When someone's addicted, they're going to keep doing these things, and they put themselves in these situations where it's more likely to happen.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't tease out like causation from this. You can't say like, oh, that causes cheating. No, it doesn't, because it doesn't explain why so many others don't.
Right.
Don't.
Yep.
Seeking validation or escape. Actually, the rest of these sort of run together, and I kind of just threw this up. But inability to prioritize relationships. And this is one that I really wanted to focus a bit on, was escaping emotional intimacy.
Okay.
I read this book called Biology of Desire by Mark Lewis. Mm-hmm. And it's called Biology of Desire, Why Addiction is Not a Disease. And it's a catchy title, I think, to get people interested, fired up.
Yeah, I think you referenced this book last episode.
Oh, maybe I did. I'm not sure. I've referenced it before. I know that for sure. I know we talked about it in the course,
put it
too.
in the, and I've put it in the...
Talk about it in the course, but it talks about the neuroscience of addiction.
Yeah.
And Mark Lewis has got a really interesting perspective, and he has got a crazy amount of knowledge on addiction and how the brain is functioning in active addiction, what gets people sober. Talks about the concept of neuroplasticity, is how we get addicted in the first place, and then also how we get out. Near the end of the book, he's making this argument that if addiction is a disease, that means that love is also a disease. Mm-hmm. Because when you look at the way parts of your brain light up when you're in love, when you're getting validated from somebody, when there's when you're attracted to somebody, it's the same.
It's that dopamine, right?
So he can't prove that addiction that love is also a disease, but he's basically saying like, okay,
they're similar.
He's sort of making the argument like, okay, it's sort of like audacious to me that you would say it's a disease when it's just a brain doing what a brain does. If you're going to say that addiction is a disease, then you have to say that love's a disease as well. Mm-hmm. But I started digging into more to that, like that notion, like sort of that frame, like love. That's really interesting because I think that underlying some of this stuff is like, we've talked about codependency. We've talked about like the need to feel loved. And some people are willing to sacrifice a lot of their values in order just to get that. Mm-hmm. Almost like it is a drug.
Right.
For addicts, emotional intimacy is very difficult. You are not concerned about forming deep emotional connections with people when you're in active addiction. Mm-hmm. You're not. So a lot of the questions we get, that's the answer, is that you can't.
Yeah.
And we did a communication episode on how to communicate with someone in active addiction. And that was the gist of it, was that you can't. You can't communicate with somebody. You can't convince them of things. You can't form emotional connections. You can't have a good relationship when someone's in an active addiction.
Right.
But when it comes to cheating, I wonder if there's something behind this idea. And this is just a thought that I have. Mm-hmm. When things get serious in a relationship and we have to get emotionally intimate, mm-hmm. I have to start being open and honest and vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
Something addicts, most anyway, aren't capable of doing or don't want to do. But they love the feeling of being in love. Who mm-hmm. doesn't? It's like a dopamine kick. Yeah. It's just like a drug.
Right.
So I wonder how many addicts are leaving relationships to find new ones for that small stage when it's you meet somebody, you find out you have things in common, you fall in love, you start sleeping together, and then when it gets serious, you depart.
Yeah.
And then you start that cycle over again. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're getting the same sorts of dopamine kicks, and we talked about co-occurring addictions and things like that, I wonder if there's something behind this about escaping emotional intimacy. Like addicts will cheat as a way to escape emotional intimacy, but go find what they're looking for from someone else, like the fun mm-hmm. part.
Yeah.
Like I remember what it was like falling in love with you. Like I remember like there are certain days of like when the sun's shining in a certain way or like the mm-hmm. weather's a certain way. Like I remember what it felt like.
Right.
Certain smells.
Yeah, me too.
Like it imprints on your mind.
Yes, it does.
It's a very alluring thing.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people chase that.
Yes. And they're not getting that in their current marriage anymore, like you said, because there isn't that emotional connection. And like we said in our last episode, you have to have an emotional connection before you have the physical part.
Yeah.
And they're not having that, so they're going to go get the physical part from somebody else.
Yeah. And man, some of them will get really, really shitty about this too. Like I've seen some guys basically say like, this is a need I have, and if you're not going to give it to me, I'm going to get it somewhere else.
That's not okay.
That's just straight abuse.
It is. And I wouldn't tolerate that. Like, no, that's you're stronger than that. You know, you're good enough. You're good enough.
For sure.
It's just,
that
breaks my heart that somebody would say that and threaten it, because all it does is make our self-esteem go down so much more. As though we already have such a low self-esteem from being in this relationship. That type of thing just crushes you even more, and you start questioning so much more.
Which is why what we do here, I think, is important. The work that we do, mm-hmm. it's about empowerment.
Yeah.
It's about helping people through that, because we know as well as anybody that just because someone told you to do something doesn't mean you're going to do it. Like right. You can give people the right answers. I can tell an addict, you should stop drinking.
Yeah.
And they can go, yeah, you're right.
Right.
But they've got to want it.
Yep.
They have to see it. They have to practice it. And over time you get there.
Yep.
That we understand that people aren't just going to take our advice at face value. They're going to have to see it for themselves, because mm-hmm. in the back of everyone's mind is this idea of terminal uniqueness, where it's like,
My situation
I see what you're saying, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
different. I'm different. Like I was raised over here and I had this kind of family and this is what my background was like. And I'm this kind of person. So I think that's good advice for most people, but that's not me.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
And it's really tough and people have to come there. And we're patient. We will love you till you do.
Yeah.
But I think that everything you're saying here is 100% on the money though.
Yeah.
But you got to be empowered enough to be able to make those types of decisions.
Exactly.
You can't
and that's
tell
what we're
someone
here
who's
for.
not empowered enough that something like that.
No, but I think that this is validating their feelings
for
deep
sure.
down. You know, I really do believe that we're validating how you truly feel. And you're just looking for answers that do align with your values. And I hope that this will help you see things just a little bit clearer for yourself to make better choices for you.
Yeah. You ever seen the way like a little kid eats cupcakes? Like if you gave a little kid like they just lick the icing and then throw out the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's sort of what addicts do when they're serial cheating.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking the best part of the cupcake or the relationship. They're licking the icing off. And then when you get down to the cake where you have to do the work and chew and stuff, they throw it away. Done with that. That's too much work. Go into the next one. And so they sort of sit there, like think of like a little kid with a bunch of cupcakes. And it's like, throw it away. Lick it, discard.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. And they're seeking validation. They're trying to find that connection. They're chasing that high. Mm-hmm. Same thing.
And you're trying to give it to them, but it's not working because they are still in active addiction.
Yeah.
They have to pull their weight too. They have to be able to be emotionally connected to you as well. And they're not capable of that.
And
I want a cupcake now.
I can speak from experience and say that it was really hard, if not impossible, for me to experience love when I couldn't even love myself. Mm-hmm. In active addiction. Mm-hmm. Like it's...
Yes. Man, so true.
I hated the person I saw in the mirror. Like I hated me. Like why would I believe for a second that you like me?
Right. Right. I had the same thing when I was going down my, mental health crashing.
Yeah.
Felt the same way. I wasn't loving myself and I couldn't get love from you.
Yeah. I wasn't giving it.
No.
I wasn't giving it. But when it comes to this topic of infidelity, I think that the key takeaways are that drugs don't necessarily cause it. You can't blame the drugs, and the drugs can't excuse the behaviors.
Right.
Like infidelity in active addiction cannot be explained. All of it cannot be explained away by the substance.
Right.
That's heartbreaking for a lot of people, I know.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of addicts would argue with me, but I will argue all day long. That is not true.
Right. And I just ask you to simplify it. Just simplify it. Like just what is the behavior and how is it affecting you? Yes. Substance or not.
There you go. So let's separate the two things.
Yeah.
And look at the behavior.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who will also, and we should spend a little time here, people who, having said all this and understanding how bad it was, they still want to make their relationship work.
Yeah.
Seek professional help here.
Yeah, exactly.
Get with a therapist that is specialized in infidelity, trauma, betrayal.
Yes.
Things like that.
Oh yeah. Were you going to bring that up?
That's right. So we've referenced the book, Why Does He Do That? A few times.
Yes.
And I found out about that book through a TikTok account, actually. There's this account called btr.org, and I think it stands for Betrayal Trauma Recovery.
Okay.
We don't promote a lot of people's stuff on our show because it's our show, but I think that the work that these people do is great.
You've binge watched some of her stuff and you came across a lot of great stuff for you.
Yeah. The first
made you look at yourself.
The first time I saw a video, I was like, this is stupid. Like, this is dumb.
You
like,
did.
Whatever. But I knew in that moment, as soon as I had, it was a millisecond thought, ooh, there's something to that.
Yep.
There's a reason that triggered me that way.
Exactly.
I never act that way. I'm always open and receptive to ideas.
I know.
So then I started listening to more and more of it, and I started to see more of myself in some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they mentioned that book, and then I read the book, and I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
So I'm really grateful for the account and for the work that they do. They've also got a website. They've got a community as well. They've got coaches. They have a podcast. It's called btr.org. That's the name of the TikTok account.
Yeah. Y'all check it out. Seriously, it's really good.
They don't talk a lot about addiction. It's mostly on things like infidelity, lying,
financial abuse,
emotional abuse, pornography addiction, narcissism. So
same thing that we do though. It's about the behaviors.
It's a lot of the same stuff we cover, but we add in this layer of addiction
that
I think brings people to us, and then we sort of cover this, but they don't talk about addiction a ton.
No.
But they're excellent. They know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. They've got professionals over there, and they've also got people with lived experience. So follow us, follow them as well.
Yep.
Just don't leave us. No, it's awesome. I want you guys to get help wherever you possibly can.
Absolutely.
So check that out for sure. But yeah, key takeaways, get some professional help. It's going to be a long road. If you do want to repair that, it's going to be a really long road. And also understand that men that have these abusive qualities, I shouldn't just say men, I should say people that have these abusive qualities, very few are willing to do the work that's necessary to get better.
Yes.
It is hard effing work, guys.
Yep.
I've done it myself. I'm telling you, like, it requires an open mind and willingness, and you have to be able to challenge yourself.
I think I'm going to butcher this stat, but I read Enough is Enough. Really good book about boundaries and when you feel like it's time to leave an abusive relationship. And I think it said something between like 2 to 5% of people who are men who are abusive actually recover.
Wow.
I mean, it was a really small number. I could have totally butchered that. I just remember it being really small. It was a small amount of people. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just mind blowing. But it makes sense because of how long it took you to deal with your shit. You know, we've dealt with this. It took you like 8 years to actually unravel everything.
Everything. Yeah.
8 to 10 years, if you really think about it, like to unravel it all. Like that's a long time.
Really long time. I mean, you're undoing a ton of...
And that was like 10 years of active addiction. That's how much you were unraveling. So think about people who have been in active addiction for 20 years. And is it going to take 20 years for it to unravel?
Well, it could be longer than that because you think about, it's not just the stuff that occurs in active addiction. This is the stuff that goes back to your childhood.
Oh yeah, it goes far. It's deep rooted, deeply rooted.
Yeah. Then whatever it is inside of me that made me want to control everything and everyone around me and coerce people and exploit people, like all that comes from a really, really nasty place in my soul. And you got to dig deep and do it. So like, understand that if you're going to go down this path, that the odds are against you, and it's not going to be up to you whether or not it succeeds. Once again, it's going to be up to the person
that you're
really
with.
got the problem.
Yeah.
Your part in this is going to be having to find the patience it takes to get through this.
Yes, if they choose to recover.
And sort of on this like betrayal and trauma type stuff, it's kind of what we're talking about here when it comes to infidelity. Even when it comes to addiction, like you had mentioned that you felt betrayed because I felt like I was taking substances over you. I was choosing substances over our family.
Yeah.
And coming back from that, like one of the toughest things, and anytime I'm coaching couples, this comes up a lot. And I hate having to do it. I feel like an ass trying to do it. And I even tell women, like, I can't believe I'm going to ask you this, but I'm going to have to ask you this. You're going to have to find patience if you want this to work. It's like, I shouldn't have to ask you, but if you want it to work, and that's what you came to me for, was to try to make it work, then that's going to be required. You're going to have to find patience where there's none that's deserved.
Right.
Like they don't deserve any patience necessarily.
Right.
But if we've agreed we want this marriage to work, it has to happen.
As long as they're working on something.
As long as they're working on it.
Yes.
Yes. Like
yes.
Having patience, like that's a question we get a lot, is like, how do you support someone? Like, what are they doing? It's my questions. My first question, like, what are they doing? Nothing.
No, then
you can choose to be patient. Like you can do that. Don't get me wrong. You can
But
do
nothing
that.
changes if nothing changes.
Right. But we'll have the same conversation like, very soon.
Right.
Yeah. So like patience is going to be required.
Yeah.
For sure. And a lot of it, and you have to go to places you really don't want to go. For a lot of people, they do decide like this is total.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get any verified statistics today when we talked to the therapist, but he did say that like he was like, my stats on this are sort of lower, I think, than usual, than normal. But he was like, I bet you it's still depressingly low. Probably 30% of couples actually get through infidelity in counseling. And this, don't hold us to that, but he said probably about 30%.
Yeah.
Most don't, but he said it's oftentimes because people have waited too long before they showed up.
Right.
They've tried to fix it on their own for so long.
And the resentment is already there.
Once resentment sets in, that's hard to break.
It is.
That takes years to just unwind that. We haven't even gotten to the reasons this occurred. So you could be getting into some deep water. Just know that.
Yeah.
But I hope we've answered some of your questions when it comes to infidelity. Just know that the substance doesn't excuse it.
Right.
It can't.
Right.
There's no way.
Yep.
All right, we got a pterodactyl little thing flying around.
I know.
Here.
I saw them. I saw him.
Me crazy.
Like, that means it's too warm outside or something. I don't know. We got to go get our kid.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Thank you for being here with us. My name is Matt. We'll see you next
Paige.
time. Oh, I butchered that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did not do
Hang
that. Wow.
How does it go? Do it for me. Well,
Until next time.
I'm Matt.
I'm Paige.
Bye.